Hello students. Now today I am back with the second part of the chapter Ethics and Safety Measures in Computing. In my first part I have discussed about what are ethics and what are the advantages and disadvantages of internet. Now today I will start with the second part of the same chapter. Okay, now coming to syllabus part, what is there and what we will be discussing in today's PowerPoint. So in part 2 mainly we will be discussing about unethical practices. Okay, all the unethical practices which are performed on the internet. Are the things which we will discuss. Now coming to unethical practices. So what type of unethical practices you can face while working on internet? Some common unethical practices are: first is plagiarism. I will explain each and every unethical practice in detail in my next slides. Cyberbullying, hacking, phishing, spamming, individual right to privacy, software privacy, intellectual property rights. Okay. Now, plagiarism, digital plagiarism. What do we mean by plagiarism? Plagiarism means that someone has posted any idea or work of a person, means a person has posted something related to research or some blog or some post related to anything. Okay, and when another person tries to make it his own work, means just copy paste. So what does plagiarism mean? To take some other's personal idea or work and posing it to be own. Means we are just copying anyone's idea or anyone's work. Work can be anything related to any research or any development of new software. This can come under work, or any idea, and then making it its own, just copying it or stealing it from somewhere, that idea or that work, and making it your own. So actually this is Control C, Control V. What is Control C? Control C means copy and Control V means paste. So just taking out someone's idea or taking out that work and making it your own. That is known as plagiarism. So this is one of the most unethical practice. If a person doesn't want to do any work, they can take some other's work and make it as their own. So this is wrong. Okay, you should use your own ideas, you should have your own work, and when we are actually submitting any research paper or any research work, at that time there is a test of plagiarism, that whether you have not taken that research from somewhere else and you are making it your own. So in that case we are having this site www.plagiarism.com. What is this site doing? This site doing is that just making your work, proving that the work which you are going to present is your original work and you have not taken it from somewhere else. So this is a way by which we can check that whether the software or whether that research work or whether the idea which was presented in front of you, that thing was original and it was that person's self idea. Okay. most unethical practice is cyberbullying. Now you know what is bullying. You are aware. Bullying means to just tease anyone by commenting on anyone's physical, mental or any type of appearance. Okay, so yeah, or spreading rumors about, or gossiping or insulting anyone. So when we are doing it in front of each other, when we are physically present in front of each other and we are saying bad things to others, then it is known as bullying. But when we are doing this by using the power of technology, means we are doing it through chats, we are doing it by sending messages, or we are doing this by sending memes. Nowadays it's very common. So that is known as cyberbullying. Cyberbullying means bullying someone using power of technology. Is that clear? So now what type of cyberbullying means? You can share gossips about someone, you can insult, you can tease, you can spread rumors. These all things if you are doing to anyone, it comes under unethical practice, which is known as cyberbullying. Is that clear? Our next unethical practice is hacking. Now this you all may be much aware of this word. Now what does this word hacking means? Hacking means to enter some other's computer or network. Like here in picture I have shown that a person is trying to enter some other's house by using their key or by any unethical means. Okay, so like entering into someone's house without in their absence or without their permission is a crime. In the same way, entering into having an eye on someone else's computer, having eye on some other's data, private data, or entering into some other's network, like suppose we have shared a network and a meeting is going on and someone else enters into your network using the ID password, then in that case this is known as hacking. To hack that particular computer, we say that computer is get hacked, means someone else is now operating or someone else has an eye on that computer and to enter into some other's network. If it is a private network, if any private network is a public network, anyone can enter. Like whatever network we are using, that is public network. But when we are having a meeting or when we are having any online class, that is a private network. That is a network which is created by us. Okay, so that is, we cannot enter into that network without ID and password. So hacking that password, hacking that ID, so these all things comes under hacking. So we should not do it. There are various types of hacking. One is ethical, one is unethical. Ethical is mainly done by people who are having that certificate, who are ethical hackers. Okay, they are appointed by a company to do it for whatever task they are doing, but they are doing it in presence of their authorities, by the command of their authorities. Okay, so such type of people who are doing hacking activities, whether ethically or unethically, they are known as hacker. And the main aim of, what is the main aim of hacking? That we want that the hacker want that now this computer or this network will work on our demand. Okay, they want the appearance of that particular network or that particular computer to now changed according to their own will. Now coming to the next unethical practice, that is phishing. Means fooling a user. Phishing means just fooling a user. Means suppose here I have given, by the appearance it seems like it's a Facebook page. You will log in here, you will give your password, but actually at the back you will see here the website is not an official website of Facebook. Official website is www.facebook.com, but it is not it like that. It's something else. So we ignore this part. We usually ignore it. So the problem comes, then there is a problem. So this is known as phishing. Means it looks, now whatever ID you have entered here and whatever password you have entered here, it went to that person, and now that person has access to your account. So whenever you are working on internet, first of all check whether you are on the correct website. Okay, so phishing means then it's an attempt to obtain anyone's email ID and password. Now this can be through by any way. It can be by sending emails, it can be by creating such type of appearances as it is given in the picture. So it can be by any way. So the best way by which you can save yourself from phishing is to first judge, first catch that fish, that whether the thing on which you are working, whether the place where you are entering with your user ID and password, especially the sites where you need user ID and password, like your social networking sites or your emails or your bank accounts, wherever you have to enter such type of crucial details, better be careful, check the website whether you are log in on the correct website or not, and then only enter. If you feel something wrong, something fishy, then in that case just stop yourself there, because once that user ID and password has gone to some other hand, it can create a drastic changes. It can that person can then command that account accordingly, according to his wish. Okay, so be careful. Next is spamming. Now in my last video where I have done part 1 of this chapter, I have told you already what are spam mails. What are spam mails? The mails which come in your email account. You have a spam folder like this. Here those mails will appear. Now some mail seems to be very tricky. Means the subject will be that your account, this bank account is dormant. Kindly provide your email ID and password and make it active. Such type of mails are there. So you don't have to entertain those mails. Remember one thing, if some problem will be there, then bank people will call you, or they will never ask your password. If someone is asking, then be careful there itself. None of the email companies or your social networking sites or any of your bank internet facility, if you are availing, they will not ask your password or any crucial detail which should be confidential. Okay, so better be careful there. So these are the unethical practices which occurs through these mails. These are known as unsolicited bulk emails. Means they come in bulk. They are not for a particular person. Means it doesn't mean that if that mail has come to you, the person is the target of that particular hacker or that particular person is you. It is not. Whoever will log in that, they will get the detail of that person. So they are not sending it individually. It's a bulk message. Whoever comes in get struck into their net, their account is getting hacked. Okay, So in these type of mails, you will get advertising, pamphlets, brochures that this company is offering you this organization is offering you this much money. Kindly provide us your email ID, that account ID and password, so that we can credit the money in your account. So these types of mails will come, but you don't have to entertain them in any case, because these are fraud mails. Okay. Next is individual right to privacy. Individual right to privacy means that whatever anyone has saved in their personal computer, I am not talking about a computer in which many people can log in. I am talking about a computer at home, which is your personal computer. So none of the person can force you to share your details. If someone is forcing you, then you have to be careful at that time. So it's regarding data security and information security design. Okay, it deals with the ability of an organization or individual to determine what data in computer can be shared with others. Means it relates to organization also. Means suppose I am working in an organization and I am having data of the whole organization. Now it's upon me whether what type of data I want to share with other person. Whether I want to share salary data, I don't want to share salary data, that's upon me. No one can come and force me to share the data which I don't want to be shown. Okay. Now next is software piracy. Now this term you all know very well. Software piracy means to create CDs of any software, multiple CDs. We are just copying that software in that CD and we are selling it. Now the original CD is coming off, suppose 5,000 or 6,000. That 5,000, 6,000 CD is getting sold, pirated CD is getting sold in 500 rupees. So people think that why we should buy the original one. Let us start the work, or let us download that software from this CD only. It's fine that from income purpose, your financial purpose, you are going like this way, but the problem is that this type of software can get hacked very easily if a pirated software is there, because that software will not ask you about any license or something. It is not a licensed software. So the way it has entered in your computer with a pirated CD, the same way that software can get hacked also. Okay. So if you want to use any software, like you are having antivirus softwares or office softwares, so these type of softwares I will prefer that you should use it from that, or games software, you should use it for the original CDs. You should use original CDs for that. Okay. If you are using pirated ones, like if you are using an antivirus pirated CD, you have installed it, it will be good for few days. After some time the license will get expired, you will be not knowing the license code, then you will not be able to update your antivirus software, and then new viruses will come into picture and your antivirus will not be able to detect them. So better is that you should use original softwares and stop buying these pirated CDs. They are at a low price, but they will not be benefit. They will not have any give you any benefit to your computer or to the user. Now next is intellectual property right. Now when we are talking about property, the first thing which comes under our mind, in front of eyes, is a piece of ground. That you know, that is a property. So suppose you are having a property and I am just making it my own and I am creating a building on it. So that is a crime, because property is yours and I don't have any right to construct a building on it. In the same way, we are having various type of properties on internet. Now properties on internet can be any type of write-ups, means suppose any blogs or any poems or any literature work can be there, any research can be there. This can be done by an individual or a group, and they can release it, they can publish it on internet. Okay, any type of, so this is known as property. Now whoever has published it, that person is having the right of that property. So if suppose tomorrow I am going and I am taking that write up and making it my own and publishing it in my name, so that is a cyber crime. That comes under cyber crime. I cannot say anyone's work to my own. So it is the protection given to the creators. Now how they are giving the protection? By using these things like patent, copyright, license, trademarks, by giving these type of facilities to their users, depending upon what type of work it is. Like if it is a software, they will give copyright to it. If it is any type of write-ups, then they can give if there is a software, then they can give copyright. If it is any type of software, then they can protect it by giving it a trademark. Okay, so the protection, we can give protection to our idea by 4 types. By giving trademark, this is to protect secret information. Means suppose I am having an invention, I have done any invention and I am having that work with me, I can use my trademark that this particular invention has been created by this ABC person. So I can, trademark is like a stamp, we are putting it that the work is done by this person. Okay, these are trade secrets. Trademarks are to protect brands, means like for cell phones we are having Apple at the back, so that is known as trademark, that if whoever will see it will know it that this is iPhone and this is created by Apple company. Okay, so this is a trademark. Then copyrights, this is majorly to protect the research works or any software work. Okay, so suppose I have released any book or I have any movie, like suppose any movie is there, then it is a copyright of this particular director or this particular producer who has directed that picture. No other director can tell that this is my movie. Okay, in the same way, any type of research work if I have done, I can put it a copyright of under my name, that copyright Komal Mishra. Now no other person can tell that this work has been done by any other person. Okay, patents are mainly like suppose some different type of features which only a particular type of phone can have, like we are having swipe feature or iPhone design. So these are patent, no one can steal it. iPhone is having its own design, Samsung is having its own design, so no one can tell, no other mobile company can take it, because they have already been authorized to that particular company. So in this way we can protect our ideas by using trade secrets. If there is any secret information, if any brand is there, we have to protect any brand, then we can use trademarks. Then for copyrights, we can use any type of for any type of research work or something like that is there, so we can use copyrights. And for any type of ornamental features or functional features, means suppose I know that this feature is in my phone only. So that particular company has saved that feature, or has made that linked that feature with its name. So now no other software company can take it. Okay. Now with this we have finished our part 2 of ethics and safety in computing. These all were the unethical practices given in your book, and once you will go through it, then you can refer part 3 of this video, and I hope that all the unethical practices will be clear to you, and go through it in your book, read it once, so that after watching this video it will be clear to you. And thank you for watching it, and hope you all are fine and at home, and be safe.